Hello and welcome to Jamila's Stamping Grounds today. I'm going to share with you how to do the Retiform technique as shown on this card. What you will need is a piece of plain cardstock in Very Vanilla or Whisper White, and then you will need 3x3 Post-it notes, and you will need 4 of them as a minimum to reach across the distance of a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock. Now what you do is you want to create 4 quadrants and not of equal size. As you can see on my card here, I have the 4 quadrants, but they are not of equal size and they are slightly ajar from each other so they don't match up. So what I like to do is sort of eyeball it, and I'm halfway would be here, but I don't want halfway, so I'll move it over a little bit and I line up with that grid paper line my first Post-it note, and I put the sticky side toward the center of the paper. Then I take the next Post-it note and I will line it up with the bottom and butt it right up against the first Post-it note that I put on and line it up along the grid paper at the bottom so that they will match completely. You might have to adjust your Post-it notes so that they butt up against each other without having a gap in there. Okay? Then you will take the last 2 Post-it notes and put them on the other side, but you don't want it to match as if it was to go right here. You don't want those seams to match. So you would shift it slightly one way or the other and butt it up against the Post-it note that is already there. So I shifted mine about 1/4 inch up, and then this one I will put in last in place. So there you have the Post-it notes dividing your cardstock, into 4 quadrants. So now what you will do is we will stamp 1 quadrant at a time. So I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon to do the boat for this stamp set, and I'm using a masculine stamp set today to give me a masculine card. And I'm going to stamp my ship, and then I'm going to take a sponge and just make sure I get the right colored sponge here, and I'm going to then sponge around the edges to create a distressed look for that quadrant. And as you can see, you can have it as dark or as light as you want, and I always try to come off the paper onto the quadrant. I would have not liked to have done that. Oops, I'm a little crooked here. I would like to have not done it as dark here, but I pressed down onto the paper a little too soon and I should have started off. And you will see that I also go like this away from the Post-it note onto the quadrant. You don't want to come toward the Post-it note or you will lift it up and get the blue color on the wrong quadrants. And now I will reseal it, my Post-it note in place, and take off the opposite quadrant because, as is in my card, which I'll show you here, I wanted to have the blue opposite each other on a diagonal and then the top taupe, the brown, opposite each other. Then I will take my anchor, and it's sometimes nice just to do some stamping off so that you get a different depth to the ink. And again, I'm just going away from the Post-it note so that I don't curl it up and go underneath. So then I would put this one back on to hide it and protect it, and then you would start into the brown. So then I'm going to just show you quickly one of the browns. Oh, I took the wrong quadrant off for the stamp that I brought. So I would put this one back on and I would take off this one. And I'm going to stamp the global image, the big globe right there, and take some of my Top Taupe ink and do the distressing again. And then I would do the last quadrant on this side to finish it off. And I have one here that I had previously done, and now we're going to have the reveal so you can see what it would look like. So if I take all the Post-it notes off, then you have the reveal of what it looks like underneath. And you have your 4 quadrants that have been colored. And if you have a little bit of white still in there, I would take the lightest color, which is the brown, it's not as strong, and just go over those little white pieces there. I must glue down that title. It keeps moving on me. And there you have your Retiform technique with the different quadrants completed and ready for your card. And again, here is my card that I was showing you earlier. And here is another one that I posted previously on my blog for Mother's Day. And this was a Happy Father's Day, and it shows the Retiform technique in different colors and a different stamp set. If you would like to purchase any of these colors or stamp sets that you see here today, please go to my website or my blog that is listed on the screen to add these great stamp sets and colors to your collection. Thank you for joining me today on Jamila's Stamping Grounds to learn about the Retiform technique.